Tuning in to the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Yeah.
Come on now.
Hey guys!
Awkward.
I have never heard this song before. I don't know what this is.
You guys don't know this song?
You're really excited about this song, aren't you?
Let's do it.
Hey, AfterBuzzers.
See, now we're in the.
Push
This
it.
is the good
Push
part.
it.
This is the good
Oh,
part.
there's a okay.
We have a video in this studio. Hey guys, welcome back to another after show for Just Jillian. We're covering season 1, episode 5 and 6 tonight. I'm your host, Lindsey Miller, and I am not alone. I have two amazing people with me. Tell us where we can find you on social media.
Hi guys, my name is Dakota T. Jones. You can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube at Mr. Dakota T. Jones.
Hello, everybody. My name is Erin Lane. You can find me on my blog at alwayseatyourcake.com and also on Instagram at alwayseatyourcake and Twitter and Snapchat at Love Erin Lane.
Oh my god,
That's
love
a
that.
mouthful.
I love cake.
I love cake too. I talk about this every show.
Yeah. And you guys can find me at Rockin' Mama Life on all social media platforms. And of course, all of us at AfterBuzz TV, at AfterBuzz TV on all social media. Make sure you go to iTunes, SoundCloud, YouTube, pretty much everywhere. Rate, comment, subscribe. We love hearing your feedback and your insights on the show. So keep those comments coming. Let's get into
Let's
it.
do
Yes.
it. I wanted to sing something from that song, but now I forgot it
I
already.
don't know. I just push it, push it,
To
push
the
it,
limit,
push it.
limit.
Speaking of pushing it to the limits, episode 5, Meet the Parents. We start in DC, going to push it to the limit for Chelsea Clinton's
Little
foundation
event.
for the kids.
Yes. What did you think of that? Did you think like someone crazy as Jillian going to a very serious event? Did you think if something was bound to happen that was wrong?
Wait, you guys, can we just, before we talk about the knee butt thing? Did
Oh my
everyone
god,
forget
yes,
about
the knee
Oh
butt.
my
That was
God.
I'm sorry, the knee, but that was like
amazing.
a really memorable situation
Yes.
for me.
Yes, so we're talking about when she put the thong on Chloe's elbow.
Right here.
Was it her elbow or
Was it
her
her
knee?
knee?
I feel like
It was her knee.
crease.
It was
Knee
her knee,
crease.
because that gave more booty. It was super realistic. Like,
Yeah.
And
I don't
then-
know, did you guys try it?
You know,
I thought about it.
I've always done this thing. I sent this to my mom once.
I've always done this. This is something that you
She
regularly
was
do.
like, "What the heck is that?" And I was like, "Oh, come on, mom."
My favorite part about it though was how genuinely Giancarlo just lost it. Like,
Oh my
could
God.
not deal.
He was calling him out.
Dying.
Well, you better delete that right now. He thought it was for real, but I can't believe she posted that on her Instagram.
I love that she posted it on her Instagram, but I think that's
amazing.
why I love her
I
so
feel
much.
like-
She's like, whatever.
I feel like tonight,
Hysterical.
before we leave, we should take a photo, all of ours together, and post it
Oh, knee
everywhere.
butts. I hope I have a voluptuous knee butt.
I
It
have
was a very voluptuous knee butt.
It was beautiful.
It made me rethink everything I know about Instagram. I was like, is it real?
Right, and that was her whole point. She was like, everyone gets famous on Instagram posting their butts or their
Or the
boobies.
boobies.
But the knee butt, I mean, they're probably all knees.
Yeah.
We're looking at that, we're like, oh, that's a nice
Everybody's
butt.
knees.
You know, it wouldn't really work out if we did the photo though, because you know you guys will have these nice voluptuous
Yours is
knee
all
butts,
bony.
and mine's gonna be bony, and the guys have hairy legs, so that'll
Everybody
be a bad
likes
situation.
something different, you know?
True.
There's something
Whatever
for
floats your boat.
Whatever
But that
floats
definitely,
it.
that got the episode off
Yeah.
really well for me. That was my favorite part. And
Yeah,
then
I
I guess,
loved it.
then we move into
Then
something
we
a little
go-
more serious.
Then we
Yeah.
go into Washington.
I don't think it's strange seeing her do something serious. Yeah, I love. This isn't the first episode we've seen her with like her fans, and I love how like engaged and real and authentic she is. Like she just loves making a difference in people's lives,
Yeah.
and she's so like there's a lot of people that aren't like that.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that like meet people. They're like, oh my god, you're my celebrity crush, and she's like, give me a hug.
Oh, I know.
Squeezes
Most people
them
would
in.
be like security.
Most people are like, thanks.
Security.
And she's not, and she doesn't put on an act. Like everything we've pretty much seen from her is just her. There's
Yeah.
no
Real.
like Jillian the celebrity and then
No.
Jillian in real life. It's just,
It's Jillian.
it's just Jillian.
Just Jillian. I see what you did there.
Right?
Yeah, like, I get where they got the name.
So what did you guys think of whenever, you know, everything was kind of going fine and then G was like, you know what? I think we're gonna do this little voiceover thing, and totally ruins Heidi's family plans. This is so typical. It's happened so many times in the story already. What are your views on like Giancarlo and this whole business side that he's trying to maintain?
Well, we've seen Giancarlo like pushing the boundaries, and I still am waiting for Jillian to be like, "Whoa, buddy!" You know, like if they're at the amusement park and he's like having her formulating supplements. And first of all, I'm thinking like, I hope they don't make this because that's
who knows what's in there.
Safe. She's like, you know,
she's like over here and fun.
Not really paying attention. But second of all, I'm like, really, Giancarlo? And I don't know how much of it is for like TV or for effect or how much of this really is, and it's really crappy if he's like that invasive in her personal life.
Yeah, and I feel like it's getting worse. I feel like I mean, at first I was like, oh, Giancarlo getting over there with his business side, but no, now it's getting very pushy, and I wrote down in my notes that it was just like, I'm surprised that he's kind of becoming naggy and kind of just like, I get that you're trying to be with your family. I don't care. We're doing this. It's like, he never allows her to have family time.
He's like the salesperson at like the gym, you know, when you go for the
and
free trial,
like, I just want to work
and they like
out.
cyber stalk you for like years. Like they call you and email you over and over.
I'm doing that right now. I decided that I
can't.
thought I wanted a new car, so I like
they're
called
the
one
worst.
time,
No
and ever
mistake.
since then, every day they're like, "Hi, have you received our emails?" I'm like, "Giancarlo, step aside, thank you."
That's annoying.
I feel like, I mean, but in the earlier episodes, it felt like he was just trying to be kind of the voice of reason. But now it does feel like he's kind of being really intrusive.
So intrusive.
And she even had a comment of, you know, he uses fear mongering to try to convince her that the whole world's going to fall apart if she doesn't do this one little thing. And I like that she obviously like came out and saw the other side. She was like, you know, if I don't do this one voiceover, we're probably going to be fine.
Yeah.
I'll still
We're
have a
gonna
company.
be
We'll be
fine.
fine.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree. So sketch. And we also see them in this episode. So she meets Heidi's parents, who she thinks hate her because she's very loud and overbearing, and Heidi had a very reserved childhood, and her parents weren't very out and open. And so we see them go to dinner, and Jillian is like literally forcing them to drink alcohol.
Which is so funny though, because they live in this kind of like villages in, you know, in Florida, and they order drinks and they bring them each two because it's just that's a thing.
I'm like,
it's 2
this
for 1.
place.
Right, that place.
By the way, this place
looks
they have
amazing.
like pimped out golf carts. They just like
Go
toot around town
2
and
for
play
ones.
pickleball and
Like,
drinking liquor.
I think secretly on the inside, I'm at least 82. I mean, I have the soul of an old lady, and I saw the golf carts and the 2-for-1 drinks. I'm like, this is my heaven. This is where I'm meant to be.
If my husband saw this episode, he would be like, "We're moving.
We're all
to the
moving to the
villages.
villages."
What's the age requirement?"
I'm so excited because I'm actually going home next week to visit my family in Missouri.
In the villages?
Oh,
No,
we just got really excited.
But my dad told me the other day, he sent me a picture, and we got a golf cart. So excited. I've always wanted a golf cart.
They're amazing.
And
Can
we're
you
gonna
get pulled
go
over?
right around
Yes.
the streets.
Drunk driving in a golf cart?
Yes, you can.
Well, we will find
You know
out.
this from
Can.
Totally
experience?
kidding.
I know this from experience.
Really?
They're
What's
usually
the
really
ticket
nice.
like?
They usually let you off because you're in a golf cart and they're laughing at you. But yeah, you can totally.
What are you, like on the freeway, like going
so,
at it?
I mean,
Can you imagine? All right,
I live
Lindsey
in
Miller.
Palm Springs on the weekends during the winter, and you like get around on a golf cart because it's like the villages. You like pass your elderly neighbors
God
in your
bless
golf
them.
cart. But yeah, if you get a little tipsy, they will pull you over, and sometimes they will tow your cart home behind their police car.
No.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
Which I'm surprised none of
my
this happened
gosh.
to Jillian during this trip because she was going for it.
That's amazing.
Loved it. Loved it. Loved it. Loved
Yeah.
it.
Speaking of going for it, they play pickleball, and Jillian is definitely like fit right in the village pickleball community.
My favorite is when someone asks her in the parking lot, "Have you played before?" And she goes, "No, but I'm Jillian Michaels."
And she's like, I know you are.
I know.
That's so great.
Why is that what you think that you should say to that lady?
No, but I'm Jillian Michaels. I can do anything.
Awesome. I just
Love
thought
it.
everything, like her outfit, like her insanely ripped arms, which are like
They're incredible.
obsessed with her arms, like in not a healthy way. She was like, it was just hysterical. Like just
loved
all
it.
these like people, and they're like, high-waisted khaki baggy shorts.
And did you see, like, I was paying attention to the people in the background, and, like, while they were playing, people in the background were looking and
they're just
clapping, and I'm like,
great.
wouldn't that be hilarious just to walk around and everywhere you go, people are, like, taking pictures of you and, like, laughing and clapping for you. It's like, I want to go there. I want to do that.
She's so competitive.
Oh my gosh.
It's insane.
So
like, unlike anything I've ever seen in my life.
like the worst.
It's
But you
not
know
healthy.
what I liked is that Heidi's dad gave it back to her. Like, he kept being like, come on, Michaels, you gotta actually swing. Like, it was awesome.
I think Heidi's parents are a little feistier than
they played on.
Jillian.
I think at least the
agrees
mom.
to.
At
Oh yeah,
least
she
the mom.
seemed a little cheeky.
She
there were a
seemed
couple
cheeky.
looks she gave during that
think they
dinner
both
that I
are.
was like,
And not only that, but she did go ahead and like take the alcoholic drink whenever they apparently don't drink. She's like, all right, and she kept throwing that back, and I was like, I see that, I see
Really
you.
cute. I like them
they
a
were
lot.
adorable.
And it's so funny because Jillian even said, like, I've honestly thought about roofing these people because they're just so tense. And it's like, I literally laughed out loud on that part because I was just like, the things she does and says are just so unacceptable by most people's standards, and I just love that she lets it go
Funny.
and
I
says
like.
whatever.
I mean, I think she knows deep down that Heidi's parents aren't actually that stiff or anything because they were hilarious.
They
They
were
were
funny.
They were like my favorite people.
hysterical. And we see a lot more of it in episode 6. We can. Do you feel like we can move on?
I feel like we can
see
definitely-
I
the
have
tail
no
ends.
sense of
I
time
know.
at all.
The
I
only
know,
thing
they're
that I
putting
do
together.
want to, the only thing I do want to touch on before, because this leads into the next one, is the
golf.
whole golf cart situation.
Yes.
So they want to basically throw this grand party for grandma for her 70th birthday, I believe, and they decide that they're gonna run around on their golf cart and go find everyone in the villages and like give them a flyer to invite them to good old
To the
grandma's.
Rager.
We're having
Yes.
a rager.
So-
a rager. We're going to rage.
I gotta say, my favorite was whenever she was like trying to give a flyer, and that old lady like goes to the stoplight and like, or just like the stop sign and keeps going, and then she's like called her like a biatch. That was so funny.
Funny. And they get so Jillian basically wants to like buy Heidi's
Their
parents'
affection.
love through a $13,000 golf cart.
Because that's how you express love.
That is, and she even says that. She's like, you know, you just buy it. You purchase
for it.
their love.
That's one way.
And I love that the golf cart that they picked is this awesome retro
Oh my gosh,
golf
it was
cart.
adorable.
So cute. But then when it comes, it is kind of peeling off and falling apart. It's a little janky for
Yeah.
a $13,000
Yeah.
golf cart. And Jillian just goes nuts on these guys.
off.
Like,
Goes
I would be
off.
so terrified to be these people.
And you know what's funny? I wrote down my notes. My notes, not nose. I was really surprised that the guys were arguing back. They were like, I mean, at least that one guy was
know.
totally like matching her
so
level of
feisty.
intensity. And I was like, ooh,
Well, I think it's hard when someone comes at you like rah to not
Yeah.
like.
come back at
And these
them.
guys,
back at them.
the people in the villages, like, they are content with themselves.
Yeah.
Like, they are living the life, and they're not going to let anybody mess with them. I got that
They're
feeling.
just glad to be alive
Yeah.
another day.
I think
That is a horrible,
this is
sad
that's
thing
true.
to say.
That's true. Truth. Hashtag truth. Getting old is
Hashtag
hard.
truth.
But I will say, my favorite part was when it first comes and like Jillian's getting like really heated, and she's like, Heidi, this like, aren't you upset about this? Aren't you upset about this? And she's like, yeah, we should just call them. And Jillian was like, no, we need to get them on the phone And
Right
I'm like,
now.
That is the
Like,
same
the
thing.
she just said, but she was like so upset
I
about
know.
it. And I
She's
was like,
like, no.
she was so raging. She didn't even like hear anything Heidi was saying. She was like, they need to be on the phone now.
Craziness.
It was so funny.
Those little guys come
I love it.
waddling into the garage, and I was like, they don't know what's gonna come.
Yeah.
They
Like,
don't know
you
what's
didn't
coming
pay
for 'em.
$13,000. You
Well,
paid 12.
they did it.
I'm
It
like,
was,
oh,
yeah.
my bad.
It's different. There's
crazy,
a difference.
yeah.
But I do think they finally hit the nail on the head when they were like, you know, they're used to selling these to an older clientele whose vision is probably not so
That's so sad.
perfect that
Yeah.
they probably just didn't, and maybe their vision isn't so perfect.
That's
that
what I was thinking.
They
I'm
just
like-
don't even know that it's like a hot mess.
Yeah,
They're
it was a
looking
hot
at it, and
mess.
it's all this, like, beautiful, soft blur. And they're like, yeah,
Like
this
it's
looks
perfect.
great.
It's like shimmering in their mind.
Oh my gosh, this perfect blur.
Yeah, it's glowing. If
It's
you
glowing.
will.
Yeah, they're like, oh, these old people won't notice the decals peeling off. Like,
Yeah.
it'll be this nice little glow of.
Aw.
Yeah.
Aw.
Yeah, so I think that kind of leads in to our next
other-
episode.
Yes.
Yeah, so we lead into the next episode with them making this golf cart. argument, and they finally like settle it that they're gonna allow them to custom make whatever they want once they get the gift.
They got a pretty good deal on that.
Yeah, but this isn't the only gift that Jillian has planned. She also has a very ethnically diverse group of strippers.
That's my favorite part, is that was a specific criteria that they must be ethnically diverse.
So I'm like, at least she's not, picking one race over the other.
Yeah,
it's really funny. I just think that I could not believe that Heidi was like, "Oh, sure, okay, fine."
I loved it.
If that would have been my parents, I would have been like, no. Like, I would have done everything in my power to stop that from happening.
I would have called the strippers.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't know. I would just be totally
You'd be like, all right, let me call him. I'll get on the phone right now.
Let me help you pick them out.
And you know what? I think that they, somewhere in there, they have a wild side, and Jillian sees it. She maybe comes on a little strong. Yeah, but she knows.
And I love when she gets to the party with other friends, and she's like, they call me the big loser. That's what they call her.
It's so funny because literally,
it's the big loser.
That is literally how old people talk.
And they just don't know. Their hearts.
Like, they just take the original origin of the word, like biggest, big, and then they just go with it. Like,
big loser.
Big loser, yeah.
It's amazing.
But let's talk about
I think that we need to make, when Jillian comes on the show, which hopefully she's going to, we need to make her a shirt or a mug or something that says
big loser.
We love the big loser. Yeah. It's amazing.
I have a feeling she would love that. But let's talk about the little tiny scene that we had where, Jill and Heidi are discussing having a third child amidst this nice array of alcohol that they're purchasing. Yeah. Which, may I note, that they spent $1,400 on booze that
doesn't
night.
seem crazy to me.
Really?
Old people go big or go home.
Oh my gosh, I can't.
Like you said.
If I lived in the Villages, I would sit on my golf cart, drive it to the pool, and drink all day. Like, this is my future.
This is your future.
I think most senior citizens I know have, like, a low level of alcoholism going. I mean, they don't have to go to work anymore. Like, what are they really... I mean, why not?
They live in, like, Florida and Palm Springs.
They don't have to raise children. Like, they're done.
And they did their work. Like, they put their time in.
They just live in this nice, like, high of buzz for the rest
half
of
them are probably highly
life.
medicated on, like, Lord knows what anyways. You might as well. If it doesn't affect your medication, I say go for it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Kind of mellows out the effect of the hemorrhoid cream,
Oh, God.
Everyone I know that is of that age and lives in a kind of a community like that, boozes like crazy.
Yeah. I mean,
but it's always classy boozing. Like, they drink, like, old fashions or Manhattans, and they drink classy booze.
Super classy.
Yeah.
I just don't know how it can amount to like $1,400.
Because you haven't bought booze recently.
Well, true.
Not of legal age.
True.
Someday.
Or ever, yeah.
But I really want to know though, like what I just only saw a few bottles, so I'm like, how much are these a piece?
She's buying the good stuff.
And fancy.
Ugh.
But I mean, this third child thing is something we haven't heard of yet, which I was super surprised because they're already dealing with not having enough family time, not having enough relationship time.
Yeah.
She's torn between business and family and kids and her relationship and everything. So and she was talking to Chelsea Clinton about the nightmares of having two children compared to one.
Ugh.
Having another is obviously the answer.
And I really want to know.
Keep getting them.
I want to know where Heidi's coming from with all this, because she is having to basically, like take these kids and like take care of them while Jill's always at work. So I'm like, is she really gonna take on another one? I
get it. Like, as a mom, like, I kind of get it because it's overwhelming. Like, I just have one child, but I get it. It's, if you're staying home like Heidi is, and your life and your life's work consists of raising these beautiful children, then it's like, I can understand why she would want a big full house. And obviously she's like a farmer, like kind of like homebody kind of person, and maybe she just wants like a big happy house, and perhaps she's thinking somehow it will fill this emptiness that Jillian's leaving because she works so much. I don't think it is going to do that, but I can see where she's coming from and thinking like she needs something more, and maybe like having a bigger family or having more children, or there's just when you have this little baby, it's like you get baby fever.
Yeah, and I think that you're right that it is trying to kind of fill a void there a little bit, but that's a Band-Aid for a bigger issue.
I want to know though, if they were to have another child, are they going to adopt? Are they going to artificially inseminate Heidi again, or are they going to give Jillian a turn? Because I don't think
Jillian would carry
she would never do that.
I don't
think.
know.
But if she did, that would really have to slow her down, and she would have to take a break.
Because I think that Yeah, I don't know. I almost think it would be good for her.
Oh, I agree.
I feel like it would.
Totally agree.
I feel like it would really give her a sense of like, this side of motherhood she's never experienced before, and she might be like, you know what? Like, I want to spend more time with my family after that,
And she'd be forced to slow down, like you were saying. I mean, she can't keep going at full speed. And she'd also be an adorable pregnant woman.
She would,
but she's
man,
also
it would
at the
wreck
point.
that six-pack.
No,
it would come back.
not.
Women like that bounce back so fast. It's
wreck
crazy.
their six-pack. That's ridiculous. First of all, it only wrecks your six-pack if you have the baby and then you sit around and eat ho-hos and don't try to get it back.
Okay,
true. The other thing is she talked about how she's not wanting to like be physically in charge of all of her brand anymore, and she's trying to develop new talent. So that would be, perfect timing for her to really pour into developing some other talent if she was
She's kind of forced into expediting that a little bit if she did that.
Yeah. I think it's interesting.
I
love how they
her
snuck it in,
it.
like this like teeny tiny little scene we barely even see, but it's such a big,
I know, they're like, you remember how I was talking about this? She said that to, I was like, no, I don't remember
No,
them
I don't
talking
remember
about
that.
this.
When did you guys remember them talking
Why
about
weren't we there?
Yeah, why weren't we there?
Why
Where was
didn't
the cameras?
we see that? Yeah, so we have the surprise party, and they love the strippers,
Ugh.
right?
It's amazing.
They're amazing, and they give them the golf cart. And it's so I love when they like drive off in the golf.
Yeah.
It was so cute.
So cute.
It reminded me of like the ending of Grease.
Oh my gosh.
So
Little bit,
precious.
right?
It's
Just a
so
classic
cute.
little car like floating off.
Kind of floating off in the
Love
darkness.
it.
darkness with the drunken driver.
Gosh.
And I love that everyone was so good natured about the strippers being there.
Yeah.
That
Did you
could
see
have gone
all
one
of
of
those,
two ways.
the old
could've-
people at
yeah.
the party, they
They
looked
loved that.
terrified. Some of them looked terrified.
No,
on the
it's all-
outside.
yeah,
On
I'm
the
like-
inside, they were like, yeah.
That's why I think, like, you know how by the time the strippers were done, a lot of the people had left the party. And I know a lot of people were commenting, on forums and stuff, being like, oh, they're so offended. I'm like, really? Maybe they just were like, honey, let's go home.
Yeah, they were like, it brought up some stuff.
Yeah.
that
Oh
they
my
didn't
God.
Like,
need
this is
Viagra
what
for
we
anymore.
needed.
That's so funny. I think it
I don't
was,
need my pills tonight, honey.
Oh my gosh, you guys are awful. The Villages is getting wild.
Hey,
over
why
here.
not?
You don't call it the Villages if there isn't some like fun stuff happening.
It seems like a nice place.
So we also see in this episode them going to the office in Miami, which obviously Giancarlo opened for tax purposes. The office moved to Miami. That's where all good businesses go to get a tax break. And Jillian has to go in the office to meet the people, and I love how she's like, "Why do I have to meet them?"
Well, especially
Yeah.
too because I think she already she doesn't know who any of them are, and B, this
Clearly.
was supposed to be a relationship kind of like love trip, not a go meet everybody trip. And Heidi was just complaining about the fact that every time they go out of town, Jill's working.
Yeah.
It really made me sad because I was really expecting this to be a time for them to just sneak away for 2 days. But I feel like here's Giancarlo again popping in with his little commentary about, oh, you know what? Yeah, you're going to come here and you're going to do this. And then like trying to make her feel bad for not going in. I was like, you know what? You're the boss for a reason. You're able to not have to go in. I mean, sure, it's great. Let's meet, let's shake hands. But the whole like, let's play dodgeball thing, I was kind of like,
Yeah, I didn't get that.
No.
First of all, if you want Jillian to like form a strong bond with anybody, you don't involve like a
sports thing.
No, especially like an aggressive sport where she gets to chuck balls at her employees.
She was like,
Yeah.
you suck, you suck, you suck. I'm like, these poor people literally have been working for her
One
for
of them,
so long.
she like thought was Asian. Like it was just nuts.
That poor girl took it
I mean,
very well.
when they were in the boardroom and she asked if anybody had questions and nobody says anything, and then she just makes it more awkward, being like, who here is afraid of me? And obviously all of them are terrified.
And she's like, when you call me with things that I hate, I don't hate you. I just hate all the stuff you're telling me.
Isn't that so funny? It's like, okay, that makes it better.
Cool. No. I mean, I get it. Like, it's so hard. It's one thing to run a business. It's another thing to like run a personal brand because it is personal. So like she should have an opinion on things. And so if people I would be the same way. If somebody was sending me stuff and I was like, this is crap.
Yeah.
Like I would tell them like, this is not okay.
Yeah.
I don't like it. And I would probably be very honest about it.
Yeah, because it's at the end of the day, it's not their face on the product. It's your
No,
face
it's
on
her.
the
She's
product.
selling it. It's her brand. It's an
Yeah.
extension of her. So she should care about it. If she didn't, then
And you think, you spend enough time around her, I guess they haven't, but you hear her enough that it's not personal because that's how she talks
that's
to
just how she is.
everybody
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
everything. It's not personal.
Even
Yeah.
Heidi, always yelling at somebody.
oh my god, I love
Poor
it.
Heidi.
Heidi's so sweet.
I love to see like Giancarlo's office, and she's like, "What is this? Like,
It's like all white and everything.
decor? Like, but you know what it made me think when she was saying like, oh, you're working on like a handbag line or whatever. I feel like Giancarlo wants her brand to be something very different than what she represents. And I think that that's what, like, a lot of the clash is. I feel like he wants it to be this, like, sexy, cool, Vogue, like, handbags and high-end and blah, blah, blah. And she's like, I'm a real person. Like, I'm an every girl, like, kind of... You know, like, that's who she is. That's who resonates with her. That's who watches this show and is like, Jillian, Ophelia. Like...
Yeah, I mean, I'm totally into the, like, cool, edgy workout clothes and stuff, but that's not what she is. She's, she's very relatable, and she wants it to be accessible to the people that follow her, and he wants it to be swanky and very cool, and that's just not her aesthetic.
She's cool. She's just not fancy.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, he wants it to be, like, fancy and uppity, and she's, like, not
about it.
Yeah.
Like, if you walked into his office and were told it was Jillian's office, you would be like, really?
No, yeah, that's like a Gwyneth Paltrow office.
Yeah, like a Goop.
Yeah. I just, it's
not the same.
I mean, I think that, you know, he has the best intentions, and one way he's trying to grow the brand, but he's just not listening.
No, and I feel like he's starting to take it too far, like like trying to make her promote things that she doesn't even believe in anymore, and like the funny, like, oh, what is this guacamole deal we have going on? Like, what is this? Like, he had like all these things written down on the board. I was just like, these have nothing to do with Jillian.
No.
Yeah. Do you think she'll fire him?
Oh,
I don't know.
I don't think
She's so good about giving people second chances. You know, and she treats everybody like family. That's the thing, too, is I think it's like firing your brother, because she'll be like, okay, let's try again. Maybe you can do this better. I would fire him, not because, I mean, nothing against Giancarlo. It just...
I would cut him off.
Yeah. I mean, it's just a lot. She's already taking on so much. She has so much on her plate, and then you're adding this pressure from someone who's supposed to be your support system. So it just feels like a lot.
I feel like Heidi might blow up on him. Like, calm little Heidi. I love her. Like, she's like, this is my excited face.
Yeah.
She's like
you sounded just like her right now.
I love so crazy. Her. She's so even keeled, but I think that she, you know, she's one of those people that a lot of people that are really calm like that, it takes a lot to anger them, but once
she's angry, it's going to be
crazy.
I know. I want to see her rage on Giancarlo.
I do too.
I know.
You should just like.
It's so funny though, because Heidi is so deadpan on everything that she says. But I love the thing that Jillian said in this episode. She said, you know, chickens, vegetables, and our kids are everything that excites you. That's it. like it's so true though.
It's awesome.
You know, when their talk over Scrabble was like so heartbreaking. First of all, like, they're playing Scrabble and Jillian's like still trying to win while like Heidi's pouring her heart out to her, and she's like, I got a triple score. And like, Jillian, just stop.
It's like, just stop
for 1 minute.
Just stop for a second. Although I do love that she was like, you know, we don't have to watch. The kids are asleep. We do something really wild and crazy. We play Scrabble. My husband and I play Scrabble too.
It's great. It's good bonding.
Super rocket.
But
something quiet that won't wake up the kids.
It was such a sad scene, because you kind of see both sides of it too. I mean, Jillian really genuinely thought she'd been trying harder.
Yeah.
But to Heidi, she's still gone all the time, and it's you know, work takes precedent over everything, which I understand, because you know, you only can feel whatever position you're in. It's really, really hard to put the shoe on the other foot. But I'm glad that they talked about it, but it's hard to think that something big is going to change, because I just don't know how they're going to make a big change without, you know, having to really stop something.
Yeah. I really thought we were going to get close to like a boiling point earlier in this episode, whenever, you know, Giancarlo was saying, you know, you need to pick one or the, I mean, not one or the other, but you need to really find a balance, and, you know, you need to figure out what you want and then take a little bit less of something else. And it's like, yeah, Giancarlo, that's what we're trying to accomplish here.
Can we
like,
take
why
less
don't you
of you?
Yeah, and I feel awful if he's watching, but like.
No, I mean, he's not a bad guy. It just, I feel like she's doing a pretty good job.
She's
balancing.
doing a great job.
That's such a hard thing to do, and there's no easy way to do it. No matter what, you're probably not going to be giving enough attention to something.
No.
But, you know, family is family. Her kids are only going to be young once, and she wants to spend time with them, and she's doing a really good job.
Yeah.
I love this show because, like, as a mom, I feel like there's a lot of pressure to kind of, like, do it all.
Yeah.
Or, like, you know, be the best at, you know, like, if you're a working mom, then you're a working mom. And if you're a stay-at-home mom, you're a stay-at-home mom. And that conversation doesn't really exist anymore, because all of the stay-at-home moms I know are hustling just financially. Like, nobody, it's really rare that somebody's like truly sits at home with their kids all day. They're trying to run businesses and do stuff. So it's really nice to see somebody who appears to have all of this great stuff in her life. I mean, she's got an amazing life on the outside. You look at it, but you see her really struggling. Like, this having it all doesn't exist. Like, you're always disappointing somebody. And it's this horrible gut-wrenching thing that's just kind of the reality of being a mom, or like
being a business owner and a mom.
Dads don't really experience a whole lot of it, but like women, we get so much pressure to like do everything, and it's juggling act, and you always feel like your balls are dropping.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, I mean, I don't see a way out of it without, really letting something go. And I think the only way for her to do that is by kind of delegating something in her business, which she's trying to do. She sees it.
Yeah.
She understands that this is how it's just going to stay the same unless something changes, which she's trying to do. I just, it makes me sad when they're sad.
I know.
Hurts my heart. I love Heidi so much. She's so sweet.
This little
She's
mouse.
so sweet. And then she takes her to the monkey farm, which
So
was
cute.
adorable.
That is amazing.
And I have issues with zoos. They make me sad. Like make me cry
too.
about the
This
animals.
was a
So I
happy
love that
one.
like the people are in the cages.
That
and the
was
animals are running
genius.
free. I'm like, why aren't all zoos like that?
It's amazing.
Seriously, that was really a good idea.
I guess
was
there's
like,
safaris, but then you get like eaten.
true. I've been on a
I
few
don't think you
safaris that almost
regularly
ended badly.
get eaten.
Well, no, but it could happen. So that's horrifying.
The
Kinda
safari where you get eaten.
Yeah. It was so funny. I was actually in like some wild safari one time, and it was like a drive-through thing, and I think it was a camel or something that stuck its head in our car. It was like terrorizing me, and I was like 4.
I like that it wasn't like a lion
It was
or a
a camel.
jaguar.
No,
the
it was
camel.
a camel.
Violent camels.
And it like was reaching at me with its tongue, and I was like, nope.
Yeah, I love
Not
it.
today.
I love
I
it.
went on a real safari once in Africa, and
Oh, fancy.
so I had to pee so bad because it's hot. You're drinking water, and I'm like, you guys, I'm getting out. I'm getting out of the car. Like I'm
That's a
getting
bad
out right now.
idea.
And they were like, if you get out of the car, you will get eaten by a lion. And like deadpan, totally, completely serious.
Perfect.
So maybe, I guess I'm lying because you do get eaten on safari.
Yeah, I told you.
I did get out of the car
though.
though, and I didn't get eaten.
No,
That's good.
But I
Did
do.
Did you just squat and hover or what?
Yeah, and everyone was really mad at me because that's apparently not
TMI.
culturally okay at all. So I'm like,
Oh my gosh! Like right in front of everyone.
well, no, I like hid behind the car and away from the line. The line was over here, and I'm back here.
Terrible
I can't
idea.
believe
Not
you did that.
best
That's
practices.
crazy.
I make good choices.
I love when
You-
the guy at the like monkey farm was like, yeah, if you only give them 1 or 2 peanuts, they won't eat it. And
They're
then
like, nope.
the monkey like ate it. He's like, well, but that one's like a low-ranking female, so she'll eat them. Like, or you're
Aw.
full of crap.
That's so great.
It was really nice to see them on their own. I mean, even without their kids, because obviously you want family time, but it's important to maintain your relationship with your significant other. It can't be everyone all the time.
Yeah.
And she wasn't working. It was really nice.
Yeah.
And I think that's what makes it so heartbreaking, you know. And I think it's very real. Like that's why I like reality TV because it's
So
real,
real.
you know. Well, some reality
This show
TV
actually
is
is real,
like
yeah.
ridiculous, but like this show is real. Like being married and having kids, it's like you have these moments that are just like you're yourself, like you're back in your relationship without the kids and without all the distractions, and it's so sweet and loving. But then it's like all the other stuff complicates everything, and it's hard.
Yeah.
It's really hard, and so it's nice to see that realistically portrayed with a sense of humor and stuff like that. Speaking of sense of humor, I love the poop talk.
Oh my
Kids,
gosh.
so we close out the episode. These are probably my favorite parts of the episode.
Me too.
It's just like the random hysterical.
I like that
stuff.
Jillian
Stuff that
tells
makes
them
no
to
sense.
rebel against,
Yes.
basically against the man. She's like, don't take that.
She's
Yeah.
like, you tell your
They-
teacher this.
Well, I agree with her. Everybody poops.
True.
But there could have been a conversation about like what's appropriate, like
Yeah.
as they're hanging up
Well,
with the
kids,
grandparents.
yeah.
He's like, "You're a poop. You're a poop." But maybe we don't call people poop.
Yeah.
But we can talk about poop.
It's part of life, guys. It's part of life.
Poop is real. Everybody poops.
It is real.
It's a book.
Yeah.
They wrote a book about
They
it.
did, and we heard about that book.
I guarantee,
owned that
yes. I was
book.
going to say,
You still
everyone
read
has
that
that
book?
book.
I
Dakota goes
no.
home and he's like, does everybody poop?
He's like,
They do. Okay,
crap.
good.
I'm like, crap. No pun intended.
Yeah.
I forgot how to do it, so I have to whip out the book, and
Yeah.
thank goodness it's there because
It's
I don't know
actually
what
disturbing.
I do.
I've been reading it to my son lately, and it's very detailed.
Do kids
Everybody
go
poops.
through a phase that they're concerned that everyone does not poop?
No, they just don't want to poop.
Oh, okay. That seems
Yeah.
like a strange thing because then, like, little boys grow into men who are like, excuse me, I'm going to go poop for 35 minutes.
Yeah, right? To an hour.
Yeah, it's very
Or
weird that
two.
I don't know when that changes.
Yeah.
I haven't reached that
Do you
point yet.
spend 35 to an hour pooping?
I don't think he's at
This
he's
is
still
like
in
Not
that
yet.
transition.
talk. Some things are
Everybody
meant
poops. Everybody
Everyone
poops.
I think it
poops.
comes up like it starts in your 30s and it gets worse as you get older.
and then just sit there and sit in there and like
Forever. It's
Just
weird.
Jillian, keeping it real.
just Jillian.
Opening it up. to talking about poop.
See, now we feel comfortable talking about
Let us know in the comments below. Let us know in the comments below how long it usually takes you.
I was like, where are you going with this?
You know what I'm saying? Let us know how long it usually takes you approximately.
Because she's a health and fitness professional, and this is a health topic.
Yeah.
It is. Your poop is very indicative
and
of
she
your health.
obviously, she believes we should all talk about it.
And I will comment back if I think it is irregular.
Well, I think that is all she wrote for these 2 episodes. What do you guys think the next coming episodes? Any predictions?
Ooh. What about you?
Now, your
I'm gonna let the lights flash.
We'll let them flash.
It's so weird doing predictions about like real people's lives.
I know.
What do I think will happen in your real life?
I feel very strange doing that because I feel the show makes me feel like I know them. Like I feel like we're besties. We're on a first name basis, and I feel strange predicting the future of their relationship and their family.
Yeah.
Like it feels weird. It's like doing it about like your neighbor being like, I think that the 3rd child thing is going to come up again for sure. And I think that there's going to continue to be this kind of contention between, Heidi needing more out of the relationship and work. And I'm hoping, this is more of a hope than a prediction, is that Jillian or Heidi, someone stands up to Giancarlo and is like, listen, bud, you need to back off a little bit. We love you, but this is not your place.
Yeah. It's going to happen. It has to. I hope so.
Yeah.
I need it to happen.
Me too.
Because I can't. But anyway, I think my biggest prediction obviously is that the 3rd child thing is going to come up again, but mainly I think by the end of this series I think we'll definitely see them married.
You think
I really do think so, because I saw like in a it's gonna like a further episode, like very far, like super almost finale type of clip.
You take it, you run with it, obviously check in with me here and there, but like this belongs to you. And maybe like he just needs to like keep it, like when I give my son Legos and I'm like, play with these Legos so mommy can get stuff done.
You build whatever
like,
you want.
He just needs like a little project that he's in charge of.
I think so too. And then he's not coming in and checking with her all the time. He's kind of, the delegation is going to be very important.
Yeah, I agree. And I think the family stuff is obviously going to be more of an issue, and I'm hoping that they do, figure things out. But I think it's going to take something big like Jillian proposing or like agree. Yeah, because we see the clip of her going on Wendy Williams, and Wendy's like pounding her about like, you said you would get married as soon as it was legal, and you're not married. And so I think that's gonna it just breaks my heart for Heidi.
I know.
It's like,
and it's so tricky because it's not like anything's really gonna change. It's more of just like having that, that verbal and emotional commitment. Obviously they're already committed to each other, but for some reason it does mean something.
It makes a difference.
It does.
It means something, and it makes a difference. And I get that for some people it doesn't, but for Heidi it obviously does. And I think again it goes back to like their upbringings. For Jillian, marriage and what marriage symbolizes, in childhood that we know a little bit about, obviously that wasn't like a thing of importance. And for Heidi, it was very important, and her parents are still married, and like it's something that's meaningful. And I think Jillian's gonna maybe have to.
And I think that goes back to whenever they're saying, like, whenever Heidi was saying, I feel like you don't need me. It's because she feels like you don't want to get married to me. Like, you don't need me. You're just kind of keeping me around.
Yeah.
Because, you're mothering my children.
To feel. Yeah. I can't imagine having children and not having that commitment. But all right, guys. Well, we will see you.
Not next week, but the
next week, but the following week, and hopefully we will have Miss Jillian. And
hopefully.
Tell everybody where they can find you on social media.
You guys can find me on my blog at alwayseatyourcake.com, on Instagram at alwayseatyourcake, and on Snapchat and Twitter at Love Erin Lane.
You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and Snapchat at Mr. Dakota T. Jones.
And you can find me, Lindsey Miller, on all social media at Rockin' Mama Life, and all of us at AfterBuzz TV at AfterBuzz TV. Make sure that you go to YouTube, iTunes, SoundCloud, rate, comment, subscribe, give us 5 stars, 10 stars. I don't think you can even give us 10 stars. All the stars you can. Give it to us, and give us your comments. We'd like to hear what you think about the show, because we love it.
Bye, guys.
Adios.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AFTERBUZZ TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AFTERBUZZ TV or its owners or principals.